So I'm sitting here in the Lord's presence and I'm asking, like, God, like, what is the difference between godly discernment, not human discernment, godly discernment and assumptions? Because sometimes we can assume about a certain situation and it's far from the truth. For example, I can assume someone's saying something about me, but that doesn't mean that's their intentions. I want to give you an example. One day I was in a business meeting. They split us up into 4 different groups based on the questions that you answered. And my group was more social, we talked a lot, and it was based more on opinions rather than facts. Now, I don't necessarily agree that I was a part of that group exactly, but I was there. And then afterwards, my friend, he comes up to me and he was like, yeah, like I could see you being in that group because of your Christianity. In that moment, really Satan put a lie into my head like, oh, he's assuming that because you are part of that group based on opinions. And basically he's telling you that Christianity is just an opinion and it's not a fact. So in that moment, I could feel pride welling in my heart, but I'm like, no, Lord, like, I'm gonna ask him what he meant by that rather than assuming and causing unnecessary confrontation. So I asked him, hey, like, what do you mean by that, by when you said your Christianity? He's like, oh, I meant that because you're very expressive about Christianity. And imagine, I would have been all rah-rah, all big and bold for no reason at all. So that is a demonic assumption. Now let's go to discernment. Discernment is very sharp. It is led by the Holy Spirit and it's very specific. Like say, for example, I walk into a room and maybe there's certain people in there that the Lord does not trust and I don't trust. And I'm about to say something, the Lord will really whisper to me, or I'll feel it tugging in my heart. It's like, don't say that. Or I'll walk into a room and he doesn't want me to talk a lot. He wants me to sit there and just listen. And as I'm listening, I just observe people's actions and thoughts. And now I want to give you biblical examples. And the one that the Lord put on my mind yesterday was found in John chapter 2, verses 24 through 25. But Jesus on his part did not entrust himself to them because he knew all people and needed no one to bear witness about man, for he himself knew what was in man. Jesus is saying that I'm not going to trust in them. Jesus had the wisdom, he had the understanding that he will not say certain things. He will not do certain things around those people. We can also see too that Jesus Christ throughout the gospel would discern that he knew that people were testing. I mean, just look at Matthew chapter 23. It reads, verse 18, but Jesus, aware of their malice, said, why put me to the test, you hypocrites? Now let's look at a prime example of assumption. Samson and Delilah. Samson assumed that she loved him, but that was far from the truth. In reality, she was planted to basically take him out. So I encourage all of you, lean into the Holy Spirit. Understand the difference between demonic assumptions, which lead to conflict, stress, anxiety, and worry, versus godly discernment, which leads to action, which is very sharp, which is very clear, and leads you as Christ wants to lead you.